Well, he's been considered as one of the top leadership experts. His books have not been a bestseller just in India, but around the world. Let's welcome renowned leadership expert and an author, Robin Sharma. Hi Robin, great to have you with us on Curly Tales.
It's a pleasure to be with you.
Well, I've been a fan of your books, and let's talk about the latest launch, the 5 a.m. Club. I believe you took about 4 years for this one.
Yeah.
What's so special?
Well, it was 4 years of hard labor, and I wrote the book in multiple locations, Mauritius and Rome and Russia and Sao Paulo, Brazil. And the reason it took so long is I wanted this book to be a piece of magic in people's hands. I wanted every line to be perfect, every one of the models that teach people that morning routine of history makers. I wanted every little element to be just quite right.
So does the book advocate that your readers should now wake up at 5 a.m.? And do you think the readers are going to take that well and take your advice seriously?
Well, you look at a lot of the science right now and it says that when we wake up before the sun, our creativity is pure, our brains are at its best, and we have our highest energy. And a lot of the great creative people have all had one thing in common. They were members of the 5 a.m. Club. So anyone who really wants to be more creative, productive, as well as peaceful should be members of the 5 a.m. Club.
Your book also talks about 20-20-20 formula.
Right.
Why is it so powerful, and what exactly is that?
So I've been coaching billionaires and sports superstars and celebrities for over 2 decades. And one of the things I taught them is the morning routine for maximum impact. And so this 20-20-20 formula that the 5 a.m. Club is based upon is the same routine I've taught to these billionaires. And it's based on optimizing the brain, increasing our energy, increasing creativity. I know it works, so I decided I would write a book to share it with many more people.
So Robin, tell us, what's your writing process like? You mentioned that you visited various countries to come up with this, you wanted every line to be perfect. So do you go through any moments of self-enlightenment, or are there any trigger points on the way where you actually come up with these ideas?
To say I experienced self-enlightenment is giving me way too much credit, but a lot of writing the 5 a.m. Club, I was in flow state. Flow state, as you probably know, is this state that brain researchers have discovered we all can access, but we only access the flow state when we're alone and away from digital distraction, and when we have the right environment that inspires us. So a lot of the book I actually did write in flow state, and it allowed me to get my best ideas.
Okay, so how did you go about, what were your experiences like when you visited these countries?
Yeah, first of all, travel is very inspiring. And I always encourage people to travel more because it makes us more creative. We're not at our creative best when we're at home in our usual routines. It's when we get on an airplane and go to an interesting place where we meet new people and try new food that our best ideas incubate. And so a lot of the book was written in Rome, and I find Rome very inspirational. A lot of the book was written in Mauritius, and the beauty there really inspired me. And I went to a lot of quiet places. There's a line in the 5 a.m. Club which is, tranquility is the new luxury. And we live in a world where a lot of us are suffering from digital dementia. There's so much noise, we are exhausted. A lot of people are addicted to the social media. And so rising at 5 a.m. and giving yourself that 1 hour and running the 20-20-20 formula that I teach in the book allows you to begin your day on a peaceful tone. And the way you start your morning is really how you live your day.
In fact, that's going to be my next question. You did mention about the social media distraction. What do you think is the mental health of youth today? Statistics suggest that there are high levels of depression. And would you say social media has a lot to do with the current mental state of the youth?
Absolutely. It's not just the youth. I mean, there are grandparents who are addicted to social media. So the term I use in the 5 a.m. Club is cyber zombies. And you're right, a lot of people on the planet today are addicted to their phones. And there's a line that I use, which is, you can live a world-class life, or you can play with your phone all day, but you don't get to do both. And so what we really want to do is we want technology to be our servants. We don't want it to be our gods, because all great geniuses have one thing in common. They spend a lot of time away from distraction, monomaniacally focused on the projects that allowed them to change the world. And you're right, we're suffering from, the term is actually digital dementia. Our memories are getting a lot more foggy because we're playing with our phones all day. We have fragmented attention, so we can't focus on doing great work. And as you were suggesting, social media depression, because we're seeing these social media feeds, and everyone's just showing us what they want to show us. It's not really their lives.
And it's also affecting their self-esteem.
Sure. Sure, because we say, oh, I don't have that handbag. Oh, my abs don't look like that. I don't look like that in a bikini or a Speedo. I was reading recently, in one country, there's a service where you can show up at an airport, hop onto a jet, the jet stays on the runway, and a photographer will take pictures of you on a private jet, and then sitting in a Rolls Royce, and you pay whatever amount of money it is, you get the pictures and you can use them on your social media feed. So we've got to be really careful and remember what we're seeing is an illusion. And what's the point of watching someone else's life when it's a lot wiser, I think, to be building our own?
Oh, so what advice would you like to give to anyone who wants to have a more creative and a productive life and a happier life too?
Well, I'd say a few things. First of all, it really is true. I'd say join the 5 a.m. club and run the 20-20-20 formula that I teach in the book. I can explain it at a high level to you right now if you like. But, the Spartan warriors say, sweat more in training and you'll bleed less in war. So getting up before the sun, using that 1 hour to prepare your mindset, your heart set, your health set, and your soul set, those 4 interior empires that I teach in the book, is how you create exterior empires in your outer life. Give yourself an hour to work on yourself and to grow into your strengths and your talents so you can go out into the day calm, focused, full of energy, and bringing on your best performance. What else I would say is release the energy vampires and the dream stealers from your life, because those toxic people are costing you your fortunes. I'd say the third thing is remember that happiness, use the word happiness. Happiness never comes from what you get. Jim Carrey said it really well. He said, I wish everyone could be rich and famous to realize that's not where it's at. Happiness comes from 2 things. Number 1, realizing your gifts and your talents every single day, step by step, so you grow into more of your primal hero. And number 2, helping people. Using your work, using your life, using your positivity, using your kindness to show people possibility.
If you suggest your readers to wake up at 5 a.m., what's the ideal time to even sleep?
There's a whole chapter in the 5 a.m. club on the essentialness of sleep. So joining the 5 a.m. club and being an early riser is not about being sleep deprived. Having deep sleep, at least 7 to 9 hours, is incredibly important. There's actually research coming out that says when you sleep deeply, your brain has a mechanism to wash itself. So if you don't sleep properly, your energy will be low, your moods will be, you'll be cranky, and your cognition, in other words, your focus will be very low. And have a great morning routine. You know what the key is? Having an amazing pre-sleep routine.
And what is that? Stay away from your mobile phones, of course. That's going to
Of course. It's the 1 hour before you go to sleep is mission critical. So don't check your phone. Leave it in another room. In your bedroom, no technology. A cool bedroom. A dark bedroom, and have some kind of a ritual before you go to sleep. It could be a nice bath. It could be writing in a journal and asking yourself this very powerful question: what 3 good things happened to me today? That's based on the work of Martin Seligman. What 3 good things happened to me today? It teaches your brain to focus on what happened. And you could even do a meditation before going to sleep.
Reading a book, is that a good idea before going to sleep?
It is. I mean, to be honest with you, if I read a book before I go to sleep, my mind is so activated I don't sleep well. And if it's like a fictional book, I have the most bizarre dreams. But I don't know. You're probably different from me.
Okay, let's also talk about spirituality, because that's being advocated to live a harmonious life. And since you've experienced many ethnicities, do you think Indians are naturally more spiritual, and are we losing touch with our roots?
That's a great question. And actually, people have been telling me getting up at 5 a.m. is part of Indian culture. And there was a Sanskrit word someone mentioned to me yesterday about the vibrations in the air before the sun rises. But I would say, is spirituality important? It's absolutely important. There are 4 interior empires I talk about in the book: mindset, heart set, health set, and soul set. And anyone who would say to me, is soul set important to be a great success in the world? I'd say absolutely, because soul set is simply taking the time in the early morning to connect with your wisdom, to connect with your values, to connect with your authenticity, to connect with your true power. That's really your soul set, so it's very important. Are we losing our connection with that in this modern world? I think you know the answer, absolutely. We are busy being busy, chasing all these material things, addicted to distraction. But what's the point of being busy chasing the wrong things? I think, happiness ultimately does come from getting to know yourself and building a relationship with that primal hero that lives inside of us. And I know that sounds very idealistic and not tactical. In the book there's a lot of tactics, but even just writing in a journal early in the morning about your strengths, about what you want your life to stand for, about how far you've come, about what you have to be grateful for, about how you want to be remembered when you're no longer here. It starts to connect you with your higher nature. And as you build that relationship, every other relationship in our life, whether it's money or our family or our business colleagues or strangers on the street, every relationship depends on our relationship with ourselves. That's the relationship we want to work on first thing in the morning.
How travel can help you in nurturing yourself or connecting with yourself?
Well, I feel most free when I'm on the road. I think as human beings, we're nomadic. So it's really important to travel. And if you can't afford to get on a plane, then get in a car. And if you can't get in a car, then get in an auto rickshaw. And if you can't get in an auto rickshaw, get on your feet and walk, even in your home city, and get lost and talk to people and eat different food and go into art galleries. And we're most alive when we're nomadic. So break free of your routine every once in a while and travel. I love what your portal does, advocating travel. We're most alive when we're boots on the ground in fresh places.
That's right. And how would you compare that with materialistic pleasure? Any advice for people like that?
Well, I'd say, an LV bag or a Ferrari or a watch. There's nothing wrong with material pleasures. They make life more beautiful, but they don't bring real happiness. We have an LV bag or a new watch and it feels good until we see one that we like even more, right? But traveling shapes us.
So which is your favorite destination from around the world?
I love India because I love the culture and the food and the people very much. I'm a huge fan of Italy because they love beauty. A lot of the 5am Club is set in Mauritius, and I love Mauritius very much. It's a magical place.
Okay, what about cuisine? What kind of cuisine do you really enjoy?
I love Indian food. Very much.
Do you not find it spicy?
Well, I love the northern Indian, especially because my dad's from Jammu Kashmir, which is a little less spicy. But I love, everything from tandoori chicken to butter chicken and naan and onion kulcha. And I love the food here very much. I love Mediterranean food a lot, like Southern Mediterranean, Spain and Italian. Yeah. All right. I like food.
Okay. Thank you very much, Robin, for talking to us.
Thank you.
Lovely having you.
Lovely meeting you.